Good morning. My name is Alejandra Birchfield. Today's presentation, will be discussing the origin and the impact of globalization in Central America, specifically focusing on Costa Rica. I will be discussing the three aspects of globalization, the pros and cons, and how Costa Rica is involved within multinational corporations and what major institutions Costa Rica currently participates in. Costa Rica is located in Central America. It is bordered by the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. The capital is San Jose. It was first discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1502, but it was not colonized until 1561 due to disease and resistance from the current population. Spain was the one that colonized Costa Rica. Which means that Costa Rica was a colony and it was never wealthy enough to be a colonizer in itself. The reasons that Costa Rica was colonized was due to their fertile soil, ideal for coffee and bananas. And there was also a great need for labor, as most of the population had died during this time. It did not become fully independent until 1838. Between 1870 and 1882, it became more dependent on international markets and the foreign capital. In 2007, it realigned their diplomatic alliance from Taiwan to China in hopes of increasing Chinese investments. Also in 2007, it joined the Central America Free Trade Agreement. And then in 2015, it won control over the wetlands, also known as Isla Portillo. Globalization in Costa Rica currently, economically, tourism is one of their biggest revenue. It currently welcomes about 3 million tourists a year, producing more than 4 billion in revenue for the country, and it accounts for more than 8% of their GDP. This provides employment opportunities for over 150,000 people. Their foreign direct investments opportunities moving into services, electronics, and medical devices. It also currently fully participates in the CAFTA agreement, which helps streamline trade, promotes investments, and opens trade services according to the U.S. Office of Trade. Politically, it is described as a neutral and peaceful nation with no standing army, active member of the United Nations, and culturally, it has a strong movement to preserve local customs. It is also focusing on bilingual education, with Spanish and English being their primary language. And according to the Globe Edge, Costa Rica's agreement into the Central America Free Trade Agreement was barely approved, with 51% of borders agreeing to it. Some of the pros of globalization in Costa Rica include that it's a top travel destination, which helps boost their economy. It has increased their exports from coffee, bananas to electronics and medical devices. This has also boosted their employment, with major corporations like Amazon and Intel setting operations there. Strong trade ties due to their agreement. Costa Rica is full participation will streamline trade, promote investment, slash tariffs on goods, open trade services, and strengthen labor and environmental conditions, according to the United States Trade website. The Forest Carbon Partnership Facility has also paid Costa Rica over $33 million for its reduction in carbon emissions, according to the World Bank's website. Intel is currently one of the major corporations in Costa Rica, which has provided more than 3,000 jobs for the local community and is recognized as one of the most environmentally responsible companies in the country. Some of the cons of globalization within Costa Rica includes one of their top issues of income inequality. According to the World Bank website, as of 2024, Costa Rica was still scoring high on their measure of income inequality. This causes job displacements for small farming communities. It also places Costa Rica as a vulnerable to economic downturns. Um, they also experience some resistance from its citizens for policies like CAFTA DR in 2009 and other issues that they have experienced include homeland customs, cultural practices, languages that are being overshadowed by the English dominance in education. One of the international institutions that Costa Rica has joined is the World Bank. It entered in 1945 in hopes of strengthening the relationship with international investors. Costa Rica became a member of the World Bank as it needed access to funds for infrastructure. As of today, more than 30% of construction projects have been completed. This has included the building of new schools, research laboratories, and college buildings. Some of the challenges that World Bank faced, Costa Rica continues to rate high when it comes to poverty and equality. Several policies have been put in place to address this issue, but as of 2024, it scored a Gini coefficient of 49.2, according to the World Bank website. Even though Costa Rica's poverty has reduced over time between 2010 and 2022, it did decline over 20% in 2024. Another financial institution that Costa Rica has become a member of is the International Monetary Fund. It entered in 1946 to provide financial assistance for Costa Rica, which currently has outstanding purchases and loans of over $128 million. The IMF has provided Costa Rica with a total of 19 arrangements since membership, which has allowed Costa Rica access to millions of dollars in programs such as the Rapid Financing Instrument, which provides immediate financial assistance, the Extended Fund Facility Arrangement, which provides economic stabilization over an extended period of time, and the Resilience and Sustainability Facility Arrangement, which provides support for Costa Rica's efforts for climate change adaptation and mitigation efforts. As of 2025, Costa Rica has now entered into an FLC, which is a flexible credit line with IMF. What this causes is for Costa Rica to have funds available, but they are not to be used unless it's necessary. Some of the challenges that IMF face with Costa Rica is just the mixed reactions from the public, that some reforms led to protests over budget cuts and public service reductions. One of the most recent trade blocks with Costa Rica is the CAFTA DR. Costa Rica entered into agreement with the U.S. Central American Free Trade Agreement in 2009. This includes other countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic. It eliminated most of its tariffs for non-agricultural imports. This has become more attractive to U.S. companies like HP, Intel, Amazon, who have already set up corporations in Costa Rica. And the agreement is set to produce more transparency in custom dealings, prevent corruption in government contracting, which leads to strong legal protections for U.S. investors. Costa Rica has strong ties with the U.S. and has become their largest trade partner and investment partner, according to the trade.gov website. Some of the trade statistics for Costa Rica, according to the Global Edge website, include from 2021 exports and the ups of over $14 billion, imports at over $18 billion, And the major trade partners for Costa Rica for exports is the United States, as well for imports. As far as the ranking goes, Costa Rica scores a 72 out of 138 exporter ranked, 76 out of 138 for importer ranked, 89 out of 138 for trade balance ranked. Costa Rica currently ranks as an A for acceptable risk on the Global Edge website, and it notes that it has shaky political and economic outlooks. Some of the strengths that were noted was significant progress in economic development, high-tech industries like pharmaceuticals, microprocessors, attractive to FDI, and also tourism resources, hotels, national parks. The reason I decided to do research on Costa Rica is because it has always been in place that I would like to visit. I had no prior knowledge on Costa Rica and its exports. I really thought that coffee would be their number one export, but I came to find out that it's actually bananas. I read that in 2023, bananas contributed to 1.1 billion in export revenue for Costa Rica. So that was really interesting to learn. And then a fun fact, my family follows a sloth named Choco on the application Follow, who resides in Costa Rica. Thank you.